Hi, I'm here in Dublin at the fantastic Reinvention Summit as a guest of Kyndryl. There they are, their logo, who are one of the sponsors. And I thought I'd record a few reflections at the end of this really brilliant two-day event, which I would recommend to everyone. Lots and lots and lots of good ideas about reinvention, innovation and so on, but some that really leapt out at me, and literally I've got my thoughts on the back of an envelope, as you can see there. The first is one of the big ideas that came out of day one was the need for a very consistent vision. There needs to be a clear and aligned vision, what I would call a strategic narrative, but total flexibility about how you execute on that vision, on how you deliver strategy. And I thought that was very powerful. The second thing that came out was this idea of continuous change. Rita McGrath, one of the speakers, made a great point. She said that a lot of leadership and management theory is based on this idea of an equilibrium, that we're in some kind of equilibrium state and then there is change. She said there is no equilibrium state, there is just change now, and you have to adapt accordingly, which, by the way, for me feeds into one of my pet thoughts, which is that the idea of transformation for me is old news, because you don't transform from one thing to another, you have permanent and constant evolution. And so this is a permanent state, not a transactional state, if you like. Another big idea that came out was, it's a great session called Kill the Company. And the idea here is that you constantly and endlessly review your business model, and you constantly and endlessly think, what's going to kill us if we don't act? And that was an idea that came up again and again in different sessions. This idea that you're on what they call the S-curve constantly, and if you get to the top and you don't realize it, you're going to fall and die, and others will come along and eat your lunch. It's not a new idea, but there's been a lot of discussion about what you do about it, which has been very, very helpful. Practical ideas as well as just big words. I have to mention Seth Rogen, who spoke yesterday. I thought was brilliant, and he made two big points that really resonated with me. For those who know me will understand why. He said, first of all, the most important thing are what he called true stories that spread. He said everything you do has to be a true story that spreads. He means in everything your business does, the way you turn up, it has to be you have to create stories in everything you do that are viral in a way that people want to talk about. And he also talked about the importance of trust as the fundamental ingredient in the way you do business. Both, of course, are my hot topics, so I was delighted to hear that and asked him a question about it, which I really enjoyed his reply. So it's been an amazing 2 days. I'm very grateful to Kyndryl for inviting me as their guest. I would recommend this event, the Reinvention Summit, to anyone. I'm sure they'll do it again, and I hope to see you here.